them accountable to what their duty should be, as you know, a lot of people know that they're not necessarily fulfilling at times. With respect to your second question, in terms of someone who's not studying, there is nothing outright we can do about that. But at the same time, in terms of going with our whole grassroots campaign, if there's enough student voice to be able to say, we don't want wasted study space in schools, then that can be turned into a working group, and you can work with people like, for example, ICS, people to implement like slightly harsher or more perhaps slightly more strict rules in terms of what you can do. For people who are wasting bandwidth, whereas they're watching lecture cast, that's something direct that we can do as SCSU.
Yeah, sure. I'll go to the first question. The second question that you had, and like everyone else said, I don't want to repeat them again. To be honest, we actually can't monitor that and tell them, like, if someone's watching YouTube, we can't be like, oh, get out of the library. If you watch YouTube about something that they're studying about, right? So you actually can't do anything about that. And in terms of the second question, we're monitoring people that are coming into our university. Again, it's a public institution. We pay tax dollars does come into this building. As much as we pay tuition, tax dollars does come into this building, and everyone that pays taxes basically is allowed to come into this building, right? And the thing is, if you are near your university and you need to study, does that mean that you're not allowed to study inside yours?
On the wall, when you're walking in a school, and there's a little sign that says only for different students. Yeah, no, I've seen that to some sides and I check sometimes. Why is there something sometimes? Like, you guys are saying that you're saying you're allowed to come in, but you're not actually allowed to come in.
You actually have to
Yeah, thank you guys for bringing up this point. We can collectively ask if you want to address that. That can be our next question because we're also running on the time constraint. So if we have a poll, you can just like so we can facilitate that at this time. But if you are willing to provide more information, then they can contact you directly if you're willing to do that.
It's just an open forum Q&A. It's not part of the debate.
It's not part of your campaign.
Oh,
okay. We can't rebuttal people to answer the question. You mean answer a question?
It's not a debate, man. Yeah.
No, okay. From his question. We're still in his question.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to rebuttal that. No, we're not. It's not happening. So what we can do is answer the question collectively. But I think for that question, we can address the candidate specifically, or ask Adele, or Adrian, or Filippo, or Isabelle, or any of the candidates you like. Just for the sake of time, we'll take one more question, and then we'll move on to the next portfolio. I think I have seen that your chance first, but if you don't have a question, you want to. Okay, I think that's the question that I probably would say.
Whether you say self-credit or forgiveness, the fact remains that the best way to deal with it is to not be in a position where I have to vote there. What in your platforms do you have in terms of supporting students while in the class?
And are you asking all of them?
Yeah, it's a general question.
Okay.
Yes,
Are you addressing specifically each candidate?
I'm saying, as candidates, what do you have proposed in order to help students while they're in classes to supplement what's going on with their academic lives?
Right. So the candidates can speak as the future growth happy to already on it.
Sure. So I think the biggest problem actually in the student not the biggest problem, but one of the biggest problems we have in the university is actually the way that students actually learn, right? We are in classes, let's say we're in a lecture hall, let's say class okay? And we have this thing called tutorials, which some of us have, okay? And it's supposed to be supplementing your learning. But what happens with the whole issue of the TH, right, one of the biggest things that they are bringing up is tutorial side. I walked into AC223 and there was 500 people sitting in the tutorial. That's basically a lecture. If you want students to learn in this university, then the way people learn is working. But the thing is, you need that one-on-one interaction. You need that close interaction with the professor, with the TA, or anyone that's teaching. I think that's how we're going to help each other, or benefit our academics. The thing is, to be honest, sitting in a lecture room, how many times are you watching YouTube? How many times are you sleeping? A lot of times when you're awake inside a tutorial. And if your tutorial is, again, another lecture, you're going to be sleeping watching YouTube. No wonder we need to drop credit. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry that I have to leave, but happy birthday! But if you guys have any other questions regarding academics, external, that's actually my job right now. I'm so sad that I'm not able to do now. But if you guys have any questions regarding external issues, you're more than welcome to approach me. And yeah, if you have my number, I can give you my number. What's my number? I'll do a little talk later.
Let's preserve the forum and let's move on to the values of international. Okay, so I totally agree with Abdullah and with Yuri that there shouldn't be a time where a student needs to actually get to drop credit point. The actual issue is so large. It's such a large issue. Like you said, it's classizing. It's professors being more interested in research as opposed to teaching. It's lack of tutorials. It's all these different things that contribute all together. And there's nothing that we can do on a large scale right now, but on a small scale, what we can do is support individual students. Like I said, we can support individual students and ask them to come in, and we can use our expertise and our knowledge to help you guys through whatever you're going through, and whatever form and terms you have next week, we can try and sort out that with your professors and try and make it more accessible for you.
So in all honesty, I haven't really thought on that much. I've been thinking much more administration oriented. A couple of the things we can do is one, expand the web option. Web option is huge for a lot of students. So we would obviously be working with, I'm not sure which department, but whoever runs the web option, work with them to expand it, get more people, and have it in many more courses and have it offer. It is something that is huge. I mean, if you're sick at home and you miss a lecture, well, it's tough right now. You know what I mean? Some lectures are pretty important. If you live 2 hours away and you have to come to school for 1 hour, you know what I mean? So web option is huge. Another thing about actually increasing the capacity to learn is through facilitated study groups. I know in a lot of the science courses they have these things that are offered through for teaching and learning. And it's basically just a group where, 10, 20 students coming together, have one person teach them, not really teaching, but get them review material we work through as a group. That right there is hands-on learning. That right there is something that's going to help with your exam. And then the last point is in regards to actually taking your exam. Having schedules, as the doctor said, when they're, 4 exams in 2 days, that's a problem. So there should be some sort of consistency in how long in between exams you have and how much of a burden that it can be or how consecutive. And another one would be where you can write them. So for example, I know people have to write calculus exams in the ARC. So could you imagine writing a full equation on that little piece of slice? It doesn't make sense. So having certain rooms designated for, say, Antoine only or multiple choice only exams would be something that would help facilitate success in all students, because you're not trying to juggle 6 different pages and write a long form on something that's specific.
I absolutely agree with Dr. Karen, because these are programs right now that are prevalent. These are, I believe, as well underused. And it takes not only the skills of the program, but the exercising the program as well. Because the fact of the matter is, 90% of students here, they don't know what's going on in the school. So it's a matter of advertising, not necessarily through coaches, because coaches are going to work through constant outreach by the SCSU team to really take the academics for fully, to take the academics off and bring it outside the physical office and turn the office into students, into outreach to the students. That should be part of the job. In terms of something solid with respect to your question, there's been ideas floating around with my team and myself with the voluntary medical program. What that is, it's really an external endeavor, but there's an idea that we're floating around that we can turn it into an academic endeavor as well. There are 2 methods of There, among many methods of learning, there are two that are really prevalent. For example, getting tutoring help and also teaching someone else. And teaching someone else and getting tutoring help, those are two things that really enforce your knowledge. So, but what the idea was that we've been talking about is the volunteer network program can be used in academic networking program as well to get the same incentive as the volunteer network program, but essentially connect students who need help with students who can offer help. And that can be an incentive, put down the list as part of your volunteer network certificate or your scholarship or what have you at the end of your 4 years.
Now we can watch the next portfolio. So,